Hi, I'm Kaisa from the People Science team here at Alva Labs. And in this video, we are going to tackle a real key question when it comes to hiring. Why should you use tests in your candidate selection? In this video, I'm going to walk you through 4 key arguments. So having watched it, you will have learned about the most important benefits of psychometric testing. So let's start by setting the scene. Anyone who's ever had to hire someone can usually agree to one thing. Hiring is painstakingly difficult. It's usually really tricky to even understand what you're looking for. What characteristics will actually matter on this job? Then, you will also have to find reliable ways of evaluating those characteristics. And lastly, you will want to avoid bias in the process. That is, you want to make sure that no irrelevant factors influence your hiring decision. But not only is hiring difficult, it's also really important. Studies show that organizations with a highly effective recruitment process have up to 3.5 times the revenue growth of their less savvy competitors, and they are also twice as profitable. Making the wrong hire, on the other hand, is extremely costly, often up to 2.5 times the annual salary of the position for senior and complex roles. In other words, solving the challenge of hiring is well worth the effort. So how do you do that? Well, the most important measure to take is to use powerful selection methods. That is, when you assess your candidates, you should collect the assessment data that will give you the most accurate prediction of who will actually perform on the job. And luckily, we don't have to invent the wheel here. For decades, researchers have studied which selection methods actually predict job performance. And this is where we find our first key argument for tests. According to this research, some of the most powerful predictors of future job performance are well-crafted tests of personality and logical ability. This list shows a hierarchy of some well-known selection methods and their quality when it comes to predicting performance. So the higher up on the list, the better the capacity of the method. And as you can see, logical ability and personality tests exceed many of the most widely used selection methods, such as education, years of job experience, and the classical unstructured job interview. Second, psychometric tests will also help you broaden your candidate pool. They enable you to look past the demands that restrict your pool of eligible talent unnecessarily. For instance, research shows that grades can be completely discarded when you use personality and logic tests. The same thing often goes for arbitrary demands such as 3 years of sales experience or must have gone to one of these 5 universities. Think of how many more promising talent you could find if you get rid of some of these taken for granted hurdles. Third, psychometric tests is a great way of reducing bias and discrimination in your hiring. Did you know, for example, that tall and attractive people have a significantly better chance of getting hired through a traditional job interview? With psychometric tests, a large part of these biases are eradicated. That is because tests are objective and structured, meaning that they are the same for all candidates and they follow a structure that is set beforehand. This leaves minimum space for the recruiter's gut feel, all in all amounting to a much more fair selection. Fourth, last but not least, psychometric tests scale really well. For instance, interviewing 50 candidates would take 50 times the time compared to interviewing 1. Therefore, this method is usually more suitable for the later stages of the recruitment process, when you don't have so many candidates left. With tests, however, there is very little time add involved when you go from testing 1 candidate to, say, 50. With today's digitized solution, everything from test distribution to the calculation of results is done automatically. Hence, psychometric tests work very well in the early phase of candidate screening. To summarize, the case is clear. By using evidence-based tests in recruitment, you will substantially increase your hiring accuracy, decrease your number of false negatives, reduce bias and discrimination, and also equip yourself with a scalable screening tool. If you want to know more about our tests and methods, please visit alvalabs.io. Thank you so much for listening.